How's it going, guys? My name is Damien. Welcome back. So this is going to be my Supergirl episode 18 video, and this is what I was waiting for. This was the episode that got me to basically binge watch Supergirl against my will sometimes, because I really just initially had no intention of really watching the show, but this was the reason, the crossover, the anticipated crossover between Supergirl and the Flash. And the Flash, he's got enough star power, I think, that he made the episode really fun. And I think overall, the cast of Supergirl and Grant Gust, like him coming on, them kind of working together, it was a really fun time for them. Just from what I've been following from like Instagram and just reading articles and stuff like that and Twitter, they really just had a fun time shooting this episode. This was just a lot of fun for them to do, and that really is the best thing to take away from this. I think it was great that they were able to pull this off. It was really just due to a lot of fan support and them kind of sitting down and talking about the possibilities of it. So let's talk about the episode. Again, I'm really curious to hear what you guys thought about the episode, so please comment. Let me know what you guys thought about it. So obviously, there's a couple of things here that are probably not going to make sense to some people watching this episode, because because of the way that the shows air, you actually are supposed to watch The Flash tomorrow and then watch Supergirl. But since Supergirl airs on Monday, there's nothing you can really do about it. Like if you're watching it daily, if you watch Supergirl tonight and then you watch The Flash tomorrow, then you might feel a little confused. But next week's episode of The Flash, expect them to, when Barry returns, expect them to kind of at least maybe mention his adventures in National City and just kind of who he met there and so on. At least there might be some kind of conversation at some point, and they might throw some stuff in there, and they may end up looking up that city when he gets back to his Earth. So that'll be interesting. We'll see what happens there. So let's talk about the episode, because there was just tons here, and I really enjoyed it. Now, I saw, on the scenes that I posted on my Clips channel, I saw a lot of people saying that, or I saw some comments saying that, the Flash was pretty weak, and he was taken out pretty early, and his running, the visual effects didn't look very good, and I kind of wanted to talk about that first. Now, with regards to the Flash being eliminated in that fight with Livewire and Silver Banshee, there's a perfectly rational explanation for that. You have to look at it that Supergirl that show is, it's all about having a female lead and everything like that, and that's really what they're trying to drive home. So when he came on the show, they didn't really want him to kind of completely steal the spotlight, because that is what he's capable of doing. The Flash is, one of the most popular comic book characters of all time. He's probably number 3 in the DC universe, at least to me, behind Superman and then Batman, and then I'd probably put him third. He's really popular. So if you were to have him come on and just kind of be this powerful speedster and just take over, he would steal a lot of the spotlight from Supergirl. So they tried their best to kind of balance it, whilst kind of giving a little bit of comedy and overall just mutual respect between the two of them. But yeah, I guess from that perspective, you can kind of say that it was a little weak, because he was taken out easily by 2 inexperienced villains. So I guess there is that. And as far as the running goes, I did notice it too, and I can't say that it looked as good as it does on the Flash. I'm not sure. I guess the choreography from the CBS crew, maybe, I'm not sure what went down there, but I did notice it looked a little different. So let me know if you guys noticed that too, and what you thought about the overall visual effects and the running and all of that. But their scenes were great, and I think their conversations were great as well, and Barry explaining the multiverse to them and the overall way that they met and all of that. I mean, I really enjoyed the episode. It was just a really fun episode, and that was what I got from it. Them introducing themselves like, I'm the Flash, I'm a superhero, and her saying that she's Supergirl, and his reaction to that, and her reaction to him saying the Flash. There's a lot of things like that where I just thoroughly enjoyed the episode. It was just a really fun episode to watch, and that was really the goal, I think, was to make sure it was a really fun and entertaining episode for the viewers. And I was thoroughly entertained. I was not bored at all, and I really enjoyed it. And I hope they do something else like it. I hope they do more stuff like that, because these crossovers are starting to become so important to these shows. And I'm not even talking necessarily about the Supergirl one. That was just like a favor to the fans in ways. But all these crossovers that they do, they really kind of set this bar really high as far as what these TV shows can really do in a connected universe. And they're really, really fun. They're enjoyable. It's really cool to see them team up and work together, and how different the heroes are and what they can accomplish together. So I look forward to them doing some more of that. Now, this episode, in a lot of ways, I guess you could say it felt very random. If you don't watch The Flash, you're really not gonna have an appreciation for the episode at all, really, because he's just gonna seem like he's just gonna be this random guy that shows up. But the pacing to me felt a little bit off, because things were just kind of going like at 60 miles an hour. It was almost like the Batman Superman movie in some ways. Like, a lot of things are just happening. So there were a lot of scenes where Barry's quickly just kind of getting acquainted with the DEO and James and everyone else, and everyone's just kind of talking really quickly and just kind of getting acquainted. I guess that was kind of expected because of the kind of situation they were in, but it was a really fun episode, and they could have had some more dialogue between Barry and Kara. I was really hoping for a Superman specific reference. At least maybe they kind of talk about it. That would have been really nice. But who knows? Maybe they did have some kind of conversation like that, and they just didn't mention it. And hopefully, when Barry gets back, he talks about it. That's always what I'm gonna be looking for, Superman. So, yeah, it was a really, really fun episode. I'm probably going to watch the episode again because of how much fun it actually was. I just thought it was great. It was enjoyable. Silver Banshee and Livewire are great to see them kind of team up as well, be the villains, and see the Flash throwing lightning, kind of bringing his tricks over from the Flash TV show. That's really cool. And then the end scene, of course, was, kind of getting back now to the actual Supergirl. We have kind of said so long to the Flash, and of course their cool race at the end of the episode, which really wasn't much of a race. It was just kind of them. It was really her helping him to get back to Central City, but it was a nice nod. It was a nice nod for sure to the comics, and kind of seeing them run. It reminded me of Smallville between the Flash and Clark when they raced at the end of season 4. That was really cool. But yeah, I really hope to see more stuff like that. I think they've been asked about Supergirl coming on to the Flash, and that would be fantastic if they did it. I think if Barry needed some help, the way they could write it is that he runs to National City and he asks her for help, and he takes her with him as he's going back to Central City. They could easily swing something like that, and it would be great. So, this was the episode, like I said, that got me to watch the show, and I heard that Supergirl was renewed, so I want to see what's going to happen next season. But let me know what you guys think. Comment down below, leave a like on the video. A solid 8 out of 10 for me. I know that with the expectation that I realistically had for this crossover, it should be a 9 or above. The episode just wasn't that strong overall, but it was just really, really fun, so I can't criticize it or dock any points for that. I think there was some more story they could have done for sure, but what they did do was really, really fun, and I enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see more. So I will see you guys later. My name is Damien. Thank you for watching. Comment down below, and let me know what you guys think about Supergirl.